One of the really important insights for me was to how to work better with men and women in terms of the relationships I had with them. And typically with men, as I grew up, the relationships would be based on competition, and I learned how to better relate to guys in a more authentic way, but also understanding women in a better way so that I could have more effective relationships with women as well, and particularly in the workplace.
So I thought that was really interesting, you know, that people would notice that change in me professionally. They obviously sense something that's different. I mean, I know I'm different. I speak more honestly and truthfully. I'm more open. I have a much better relationship with my sons, a great relationship with my, gorgeous wife, and we get on really well. Not that we didn't beforehand, but it seems to be much deeper than that now.
I gained a better insight into how to establish positive and productive relationship rules to basically keep your relationship on the track that you want, so that it's healthy and loving, and so that it grows. And a lot of those relationship rules I learnt through MIJ. Myself and my fiancée Jules have actually put into our wedding vows, and we're going to make them part of our wedding and commitment to each other moving forward. So that's been a great takeaway from MIJ.
Relationships were always something that I endured with fear and a sense of exposure and vulnerability. Through Man's Inner Journey, I've been able to trust in myself and also trust in other people, knowing that not everybody's out to get you, that really positive people have love for you, and that you can grow and understand more about yourself through that.
One of the important things for me was to understand which patterns that I wanted to keep and which patterns I wanted to get rid of, because the ones I wanted to keep are the ones I wanted to display with my kids. I always remember in the 30s, my daughter used to say, well, you're there, Dad. I'd come home at night and I'd read to her and she'd speak to me, and she'd just question whether I was there. Like I obviously wasn't listening. I was sort of being in another world, and I think Dad used to do that with me. And I think now, just on reflection, after MIJ, you've understood that a bit more, and you sit and listen to the kids rather than judge.
And a couple of the patterns that I noticed in myself were the patterns of judgment, judgment of other people and situations. And I learnt to better accept people without putting a preformed or my own preformed judgment on who they were or what they were, or from their appearance or from the job they had, but just to listen to them and to accept things on face value and not to prejudge.
I had some different experiences at the seminar which were just out of my realms of experience as a general practitioner. It stretched my mind a lot, and that was really encouraging. It was done really in a good way, a very supportive way. The seminar leaders were fantastic. What I also found when I went to the seminar was that doing a seminar with a group of men wasn't as hard as what I thought it would be. We were all nervous, and most of us there were new, and we were all wondering what the hell was going to happen to us.
For me, the workshop was fantastic. I learned a lot about myself. I learned tools that I could use to improve what I did in my life and how I related to other people. And it was a fantastic, really worthwhile investment of my time and my money.
One of the wonderful things I got out of Man's Inner Journey was particularly in the sessions where I was able to speak from my heart and have other people just simply listen. That hasn't happened to me before, and just to have other men listen without passing comment or judgment was just a very, very refreshing, releasing thing to be able to do.
One of my other things about Man's Inner Journey is trying to involve other men in the group. I talk to men at the practice about issues, because there are a lot of men hurting out there. I know that firsthand because I walk into my surgery. A lot of men stressed, a lot of confused men, a lot of depressed men. So this sort of Man's Inner Journey has really helped me to relate to them a lot. I don't think I would have done that as effectively without Man's Inner Journey.
Man's Inner Journey has been an absolute wonder for me to understand more about myself and the relationship I have with my wife and my children, and accepting of where they're coming from and what's important for for them and what's important for me.